Okay, it's Hangout. It's
We're
live.
live.
Okay, we're live. Hello, everybody in the chat room. Thanks for joining us tonight. We have an esteemed panel here of Zino owners and Zino curious people.
Hello, everybody in the chat room. Thanks for joining.
I'm hearing my echo someplace.
Panel here of Zino owners and Zino
Yeah,
curious.
what? Who's not muted?
I got that.
Okay,
Yep.
There we go. We're good now. Okay, sorry for that brief interruption, everybody. So I'm going to introduce our esteemed panel tonight. I'm going to go in order on my screen. I don't know how people out in the chat are seeing it, but I want Al Duran to raise his hand. This is Al Duran from, is your channel, say your channel's name, YouTube channel?
Yeah, my channel name is Duranify, and I'm in Richmond, Virginia. I've had a Zino since December 10th of 2018. So I have gone through all the upgrades like Marcus has, I imagine. So it's been a real pleasure watching it grow.
Al, if you want to throw your link to your channel in the chat, feel free to throw it in there for people to follow. Okay, next up is Bill H. Wave your hand, Bill H. This is the famous Bill the Drone Reviewer from beautiful sunny Florida. He's got his YouTube channel is Bill the Drone Reviewer. He's got a bunch of Facebook groups, Bill the Drone Reviewer, and he can name some of the other ones out to you.
Oh, I got DJI covered. I even have a parrot group, Parrot and Afi group, and I'm probably going to be joining the ranks of ZinoNation here shortly because it's just seeing what Ron and Marcus have done. It has just absolutely fascinated me. So I'm really excited about these guys, and I'm looking forward to having them on my show to talk, have just a Zino show one night on Tuesday night.
When is your show, Bill? Give us your show and the time.
Tuesday night, Rotor Talk Live. It's on at 8 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday, and I also have a Sunday afternoon Rotor Talk Live. It's on usually the first Sunday of every month at 2 p.m. That way, I'm pretty popular over in the UK and Germany and Australia, and our friends overseas can catch us.
And don't you make an appearance on another famous YouTube drone show weekly?
Yes, I do. On Saturday mornings, you can probably find me on Canadian Drone Hub with Roger Martin and Val and Hugh and all the great folks up there. And if you haven't checked them out, you need to do that. Those guys are absolutely fantastic.
And you're on something called the Bucket List Boys too, aren't you?
Oh yeah, that show with Mr. Bill Thomas, the Bucket List Boys.
And on that, we're going to introduce, wave your hand, Bill Thomas, the founder of Drone Therapy and the Bucket List Boys, the great Bill Thomas.
Well, thank you very much, Ron. I don't know about the great part of it, but I enjoy having you on. And Drone Therapy was basically that. Everybody knows they had a stressful day, and you come home and you fly your drone for a little while, and you kind of feel 10 times better than you did before you started flying. So that's why I did that. We've had a different kind of evolution throughout the year and years that I've done it. This is the second season, and I'm glad to have everybody here. Please check out everybody's channel that's in the chat. Please subscribe to everybody if you're not already subscribed. And with that, I will say thank you very much. Don't forget to check out Bill the Drone Reviewer tomorrow night on his channel. Don't forget to check out myself, Ron Brown, and Bill the Drone Reviewer on Wednesday nights on Drone Therapy. Thank you very much, Ron.
And on that note, we're going to throw it to the great Dennis Lovelady here from the wonderful state of Georgia. His YouTube channel is called
Dennis Lovelady.
Help me out, Dennis. Dennis Lovelady, just like me, simple, just his name. And Dennis, tell us about your sunrise. I can't explain your sunrise videos.
Okay, so every Sunday morning we have this thing we call Chasing the Sun or Follow the Sun. There's no official name for it, but we have, it gets started off by Drone Bum, who is actually the originator of the idea. And he's in New York and the easternmost person in the group. And so he'll take off at a few minutes before sunrise in New York. And then he passes off to Philly, to Philadelphia, to Philly Drone Life, or Michael D., who takes off and, presents the Philadelphia sunrise until my time in Georgia, and Then when I'm done, I pass off to Roosevelt in Monticello, Arkansas, and he passes off to usually to Chris Hope, who's in Texas. He's in I'll just say Austin. I don't recall the name of he's in I should know, but it's sometimes Jim Hightower, who you may know from Help at Home, also joins us on the Sunday Sunrise. So basically, we just kind of move from east to west, and we have visions of this actually crossing the country and perhaps even beyond. There's a rather large gap, though, to the next. But we're not sure how that would work. But for the present time, there are 5 of us. And that's it. I've taken enough of your time. I'm a simple guy, by the way. I'm not the great Dennis Lovelady. I'm the normal Dennis Lovelady.
Dennis, is there any truth to the rumor that you're going to be on a famous drone YouTube show on Wednesday night, appearing live with some other luminaries from the community? Is there any truth?
As soon as I get the check, I will. My interview fee is rather large, so
the check's in the mail.
Okay, I appreciate that. No,
yeah, Ron's got the corporate card.
We'll have Peter Frampton deliver the check. Okay, moving on now, we have the president of the Zino drone community or whatever, the great Marcus Crawford, who's located in the western state of Idaho. Marcus, he's recently had a channel name on YouTube. He used to be Idaho Sledhead, but now he's Idaho Quadcopter. Did I get it right this time, Marcus?
You did indeed get it right, Ron. Thank you.
Take it away, Marcus.
All right. Thank you very much, Ron. So as everybody knows, this show is all about the Zino. Oh, wrong one. Oops, sorry. All about the Zino. I actually flew the little Spark today, so that's why the Spark was in my hand. But
I shrunk the Zino.
Hey, my philosophy is much like the rest of you here. It's all about flying drones and having fun. I mean, what is the point of doing this if we're not having fun? And, I always say that the Zino, it's the drone that people love to hate. And I'm not sure exactly why, but they do. It's a flipping $300 drone. And in my mind, for $300, it actually does a pretty good job. And boy, have I had fun with this thing. I have had a ton of fun with this little drone. Not that I don't love my DJI products. I really do. But the Zino is just a big pile of fun. I think part of it is because it's a cheaper drone that I don't get so stressed out about, flying it out over the Snake River Canyon or whatever, But anyway, that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Okay, listen, we're going to get into the show in a minute, but we're going to do some chat room shout outs here. We have Ray Millwood in the chat room with us tonight. We have Birdman 316 RC with us tonight. We have Floyd Moats. We have N6 SIX in here with us.
That's Joe Azevedo.
Okay, Joe. So I think I've got Better with the Drones here with us tonight. Better with the Drone is also an early Zino owner. He's from Chicago. He was posting videos like the rest of us in early December. He's with us tonight. And
Brian, True Drone Reviews.
Yeah, Brian from True Drone Reviews just joined us, and he's also he's a more recent Zino owner. And what was his quote? I posted this in my group. He said something like, "It's great. It's good for the money," or like I think in his first video too, he was a little iffy, but he's fallen in love with it now too. So we got to get him on here sometime. But okay, let's jump into the Zino. Okay, we had a firmware release last weekend. It brought Flight Controller V1.1.50, and of course, it came with a gimbal, update and a camera update and a controller update too. Al, have you upgraded to all the most recent Zino software yet?
Yes, I have. And it really has made this thing come to life. With the gimbal upgrade, I mean, it made it so much smoother as far as bringing the gimbal up and down. That made it so much easier. If they could only do that to the joysticks, because you could ruin a shot in a split second with that yaw, right, as you're coming around. But yes,
Al, I'm glad you pointed that out. I think the one of the Xeno's biggest weaknesses now is the yaw's way too fast or whatever. We need to be able to slow that yaw down a little bit.
So one of the points there, I noticed that quite frankly today when I flew the little Spark, is how much smoother the yaw was on the Spark.
Yeah, most toy quadcopter people love a fast yaw. Like, people that want to fly for sport, but us, people that fly for photography, we want a nice, smooth, slow yaw. We don't want to be whipping it around real fast, and that's to me one of the biggest weaknesses. I would wish they would where they have the sport mode button on the TX. It doesn't do anything. Sport mode and non-sport mode are the same thing. I would like to see them for the non-sport mode put that into like what do you call it, like a photo mode, where it slows all the yaw and slows all the motions down to get so you can make smooth moves for cinematography.
Yeah, that's something that I'd be interested in see with the flight controllers too. One of the other things that I've noticed, and it's kind of really annoying to me, is the fact that you pick a line you're going to fly straight to, because you're thinking that in post you're going to either increase it by 2x or 3x, and the thing starts drifting to the left as you're flying, either forwards or straight backwards, and that kind of ruins the shots also.
Yeah, so what you're talking about is, here, let me get it open here so that we can kind of do a little demo. So instead of flying straight like this, the vector is correct, but it's at a little bit of an angle.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's kind of like, they're not, I don't know what to think, how to, if you're talking like, a boat where you're, either your screws turning clockwise or counterclockwise, the boat kind of tends to pull that way a little bit. That's what this kind of feels like, but I've learned to compensate it. So when I take the shot, like I want a half a mile run straight ahead, because I want to have a certain angle. I've learned to offset it a little bit, so by the end of the straight shot, I'm where I need to be.
Yeah, the best way I can explain it, Al, is like if you're in your car, if your steering's out of alignment, and it pulls one way or the other, that's like the Zino. It's like the steering's out of alignment. And I tested it. I've been sick with a cold, so Saturday was the first time I got out to give the new flight controller a really good test. And I felt it, just as you described, pulling to the left. I mean, no matter how much I tried to compensate, it's still headed to the left. And a lot of guys, like the QC guy, they call it crabbing. I don't know, never heard that term before, but they call it, going to the left or right, crabbing. Now, the funny thing is, though, I noticed when I flew close to me and low to the ground, when I flew, I couldn't see the crabbing flying at low and close. I could only see it if I was flying it at a good distance away from me. Now, that may just be, me not noticing, but
hey, let me interrupt you, Ron. We've got a
go ahead, Marcus.
We got a question in the chat. Raymond Millwood is asking to see a size comparison between the Spark and the. Hopefully, have I got those where everybody can see them? So
put back some. You're too close to the camera.
Too close.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, so that's kind of the size. I'll be honest with you. When I bought this little guy, I was kind of surprised at how small it was. I thought it would be a little bigger.
Hey, Ron, just want to let you know, QC guy showed up. He had to run, but he subscribed and gave us a thumbs up.
Oh, great. QC guy, his name's Chris. He's I mean, he's a Zino owner. He used to kind of work for Hubsan a little bit, and he's much more technical than Marcus. He has taken the Zino all apart and put it back together and made internal modifications. I mean, you know, he's very knowledgeable on you know, everything about the Zino. So great to see him be part of the group. And thanks for pointing that out, Bill.
Hey, Ron, can I interject just a split second?
Go ahead, Bill. Take it away.
If you can give us a couple of wrenches to some people, we can actually drop some links for you in here.
Okay. And how do I do that, Bill?
Like when you go to your chat window, go out to the end of the chat, and it'll be highlighted. You'll see 3 little, you know, periods, and just click on it, and you'll see like go to channel, make channel moderator, that type of thing.
Okay. Now, I know you could pop a chat out, but I never even did it. How do you pop a chat out?
Oh, you don't need to pop the chat out. Are you looking at the chat?
I'm looking at the chat on a different computer.
Well, you can still do it on either computer because you're still the admin.
But I think I'm looking at it on the other computer as just a viewer, not as the admin.
Oh, you're not signed into the channel? Okay, so you would bring up...
Okay, well, let me try it. You told me to go to somebody and do what now?
Just go to the chat.
Yes.
Go out to the end of whatever their chat is, and you'll see 3 little bars come up. Like hover over somebody's name.
Okay, I'm there, Bill.
You see the 3 little buttons?
Yes.
Okay, go to them and click it.
Okay.
What menu pops up?
Go to channel, report, remove, put user in timeout, hide user on the channel, and add moderator.
Bingo! We have a winner.
Yeah. I learn something every time I talk to Bill Thomas. That is the truth.
This is your first stream, man.
Hey, while you're doing that, Ron, we've got another question in the comments. So,
okay,
Floyd Moat is asking about the Zino disconnects, and he probably watched Peter Martin's recent video where he was talking about how if you went out and you took the Zino out and flew it out of range and it lost connection. Peter was saying that with the newest update, 0.50, it doesn't automatically go into RTH. Now, I have done a million experiments, if you watch my videos, about I've just disconnected the phone, I've shut off the controller, and the Zino has always come back to me every time. And I've flown it out of range. I've gone clear past range. Now, what I will say is I have not tried that with the 0.50 upgrade that Peter was talking about, and so I can't answer that. But I'm gonna give that a shot.
I like to jump into that one because I just did a review on that with the range extender parabolic dishes, and I took this thing out 1.2 kilometers, and it disconnected and sat there for 5 minutes, 1.5 kilometers away, and it wouldn't come back.
Wow.
And,
well, that's what happened to Peter Martin.
Yep, and I did actually a very long review because I did the comparison of the of the transmitter mod with the parabolic dishes on it, and I did the exact same run, and without the parabolic dishes, I got a little bit over 1 kilometer. So I was sitting at 2633 feet, and with the parabolic dishes, I went out to about 2,900 feet. But when it disconnected, it just sat there for 5 minutes. And I talked for 5 minutes about the surrounding, just trying to fill in the time because I knew I wasn't going to edit it. I was just going to leave it as the way it was because it was a range test. But yeah, 1.1.50 is not RTHing right away.
Okay, now but this is only on one. This is only on the latest flight controller. The previous one, you didn't have this issue.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So did everybody see Peter's answer to that though? So if you are out there and you don't see it coming back, and you'll know when it's coming back because it'll get into range and then it'll reconnect. So if you don't see that, what Peter said to do is you turn off the controller and then it will go into RTH immediately.
Yeah, and one of the things that occurs when that happens, when you're that far away, that your video display will end up dropping in and out. Even though you've connected, it'll be wacky as heck. And you're just like, okay, man, come on back. I know I can see you now, but the video's not there, right?
Yeah.
So it is definitely one of those things that you're trying to turn everything off, including the app, and unplugging the cable, putting it all back together while I was flying, and hope that it works, right? But
I have a question for the esteemed panel of Zino experts here. Brian Singleton, True Drone Reviews, he said he did not update his controller, and just wanted to run this by you guys. Is that an update that needs to be done? Because I know what it took an arm and a leg to update the controller, because I had heard all about that. So what's your take on this, guys?
So here's what that gives you, Bill. What that gives you is the ability to change the radio channel on the drone. So that, to my knowledge, and the rest of you guys step in, but to my knowledge, that's the only thing that does.
Now, Marcus, that was the feature gained from the previous update to the transmitter, but the transmitter got updated again with this round, did it not?
I didn't know. If it did, I was unaware of that.
Okay, maybe I'm mistaken. Al, can you shed light on this?
Yeah, I did upgrade the transmitter also, and you got to short those pins out. And that's the biggest pain in the butt. So the way I did it, and I should probably do a video, but the QC guy's done so much on that. Chris has that I felt like it wasn't needed. But what I did is, how you get those jumpers for like disk drives or printed circuit boards? Well, today's jumpers are micro little jumpers like we had in the past for circuit boards. If you get one of those, then you don't have to short out those two pins, the first two pins, like they show you in the video from Hubsan support. I think that's the easiest way to do it, and the upgrade goes pretty straightforward. But the biggest pain in the butt is that you're worried about, sticking, the instructions tell you to use tweezers, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what if you're shorting out the wrong things here, and then you turn this thing on and you just like completely fry your controller, right?
Well, yeah, the original video from Hubsan had tweezers, but then they got rid of that video and they put a updated video out taking the tweezers out.
Yeah, but still, right?
Yeah.
It's like taking putting a screw in there, right?
Well, J Drone did a recent video. He updated to the 1.50 flight controller and firmware, and he had a pair of the jumper things that you described, Al, and he even put a link on the video where you could purchase these jumper cables from Amazon for $8. If anybody doesn't have these jumpers and they want to, J Drone has the link to get them affordably.
Hey, let me show that, Ron, if anybody's not familiar. So hopefully
Thank you, Marcus.
Hopefully you guys can see those pins there underneath, and that's what we're talking about, having to jump the far two pins.
Yeah, and those are the two pins on the left side there, guys. And you tend to bend them, so you got to bend them back unless you get the little jumpers. So that was the biggest thing.
Out of mine.
Did you? Yeah, so I've been bleeding with the Zino since the beginning, right? With all the upgrades, as soon as they come out, I'll shove them in there, just be the guinea pig and try it. And I have not been disappointed, to be honest with you. They're moving the ball forward, so I'm happy with that. And for $300 drone, this thing is sweet, because I also have the Spark, and that's the slowest fire ever. Right? When you jam the stick forward with that little thing, it barely moves. But then
Al, hold on. I got the $1 million tip for you on the Spark. If you go into the Spark and you turn off the obstacle avoidance sensors, guess what? It flies at a nice speed, and not like the sport mode where the gimbal wobbles. It flies fast enough that the gimbal still does its job, but you fly at a decent speed. Just turn those optical avoidance sensors off, and it'll be flying at a decent speed for you.
Great tip. Thank you.
Let me get in on
I
that
had
one.
mine for like a year before somebody gave me that tip, Al.
Oh my gosh, I've been flying it. This is my second one. I lost one in the river already.
Oh,
So I bought the second one used from Craigslist for $250. But I mean, I like it so much I bought it because it's so good at little tiny places because it's so stable and precise.
So
agreed.
the point that I wanted to make with regard to the difference between the Zino and you know, you get this all the time in comments and on forums and etc. So the complaint is that the Zino sinks or it doesn't hold altitude perfectly. But look at the difference here. If you look at the bottom of the Spark, you've got an optical flow sensor and you have two infrared sensors and you got infrared sensors on the front. Just telling you, it's kind of apples and oranges in my mind. They both have their advantages and disadvantages, and it drives me crazy when people talk about the stability of the Zino. And do you see a sensor down there? Do you see anything on the sides? There's nothing there. All it has is a barometer, and as Coast to Coast Drones says, it might be a cheap barometer. But if you understand that and you understand how the drone flies, you simply don't put it in situations where you're going to have those kind of issues.
You know, I wanted to ask a question from the panel here. This is something you have to akin back to, and I know I'll bring up Kelly Shores from Ready Set Drone and not his Zino experience, but he says, you know, he firmly believes everybody should learn on a SEMA 5C because you actually have to fly that. And I think the same holds true. Correct me if I'm wrong with you guys. You need to fly the Zino. You're not like, oh, I can put the Phantom 4 Pro up in the air and let it go, and you know, and the Mavic 2. No, you gotta fly it all the time. Am I right, guys?
Bingo.
Yeah. I mean, if you throw it up 100 feet in the air in the middle of no place, you don't have to really watch it, whatever. But yeah, if you get near objects and whatever, you got to really fly it.
Right. And that drop, you know, you guys have talked, I know you guys have talked about that drop. I'm sorry to interject here, but I know you guys have talked about that. And, you know, one of the good things, and I know Ron, and I think Marcus, you brought it up too, is to, you know, altitude is, I've always said this phrase, no matter what kind of drone you're flying, altitude's your friend. And the more you get up there, the better it looks. Because I've watched some of Ron's videos and Marcus's videos, and they get up there, you know, and that drop doesn't happen when you're up at 100 feet. It's, you know, it may go up a foot or two or down a foot or two, but, you know, it's not this sudden womb that you have when you're closer to the ground.
Well, that's a great point, Bill. When you're up, I've watched it. When I'm up at 100 feet in the air, I'll still see it, you know, rise or go up a foot, up or down. But I mean, at 100 feet, you can't even notice it. But when you're only 3 feet off the ground, 1 foot up or down is a big deal.
Yeah.
The point of it is, you know, I do a lot of really demonstrations in my videos that are not very smart, and they're not the way you would normally fly the Zino. But I do it in order to demonstrate the firmware upgrades, etc., and how robust the drone actually is. So they talk about the dive. Well, shoot, why would you ever be flying that close to the ground? And, you know, you're talking, people complain about, well, they're flying through the trees and, you know, they turn and it went up and hit branches. Well, with a drone that doesn't have any other sensors and all it has is GPS and a barometer, if you get in amongst the trees, it's going to lose GPS. I don't know. Those are the kind of things that can happen. So I recommend against that. And if that's the kind of flying that you're going to do, you really do need to pay up and buy a Mavic Air or a Mavic 2, etc., because those are the kind of drones that have those kind of obstacle avoidance sensors that you can do that kind of flying with. Don't buy the Zino thinking that you're going to get a cheap version of a Mavic, because it just is not that. But it is a really fun drone to fly.
I got a news flash. The Zino has been compared to the Mavic Pro more than any other drone on the planet. That's just in.
Now, I don't know if you guys saw Better with a Drone said, according to the literature, the video processor on the Zino is capable of forward obstacle avoidance. It could be another firmware update in the future.
Wow. That's big news. And also, And also, Better with the Drone said that you could buy the jumper from Hubsan for 99 cents. He said that a while back in the feed. But that's very interesting news, Bill. What you would really be in if you had an obstacle avoidance sensor for only $269, along with everything else, right?
Well, you know, it's like every time I go flying back behind my house, just to let our panel know, you know, I have a fairly small backyard, but I have gorgeous. There's a lake out behind us. I live in Florida, and the obstacle avoidance. Whenever I take off any of my DJI, you know, either the Phantom or the Mavic, that obstacle avoidance is beeping and doing all kind of gyrations until I get at least 20, 30 feet up in the air above my house. And then it finally stops. But I mean, it's like every time I'm landing, it's beeping like crazy, and it doesn't like this. My hot tub's back there and all that. So yeah.
Right.
I hear you.
I've got a solution for that. One of the things that I have done is on the controller, I programmed one of those programmable buttons all the obstacle avoidance sensors.
You know, that's a great suggestion, Marcus. You know what else would probably work too? We're negotiating. We're all the homeowners on our street that have a lakefront view. We're negotiating to buy the property behind us. So if we do that, Bill's going to have ample room to take off and land with. It's like 80 feet down to the water. So
you have your own landing strip.
I'll have my own landing strip.
I'll get you a windsock for it, like a little takeoff ramp.
Oh, hey, I'm retired. I'll be moving into your subdivision, Bill.
Waterfront access.
Is it okay if the windsock has a hole in it? I think I have a spare.
We got a sewing kit. Hey, Marcus, I want to get into this a little bit. Marcus posted his unboxing of his Spark recently, and Marcus bought it. Not my link. I didn't get any money for it, but Marcus bought the Spark off a link that I provided. How much did you pay for the Spark, Marcus?
Oh gosh, I don't want to make anybody mad in here because I know Duranfly just said that he got his for $250.
Going on YouTube. Thank you for watching the channel.
Sorry about that, guys.
$235 for that.
Okay, $235. And how much did you pay for the controller from DJI?
So I used one of my DJI Select coupons, which we're all DJI Select members, right? I hope we are.
Well, they're trying to talk me into it.
Well worth the money. Anyway, with that discount, I got the controller for $95. So I'm into the whole thing for $330.
Okay.
And I'm going to raise a pain point here, okay? And I know Bill Thomas will join in chorus with me. Is they don't consider the DJI Smart Controller a accessory, okay? And it is a controller. It is an accessory. You know, they consider the accessory for the Spark, you know, the Spark's controller an accessory. They don't consider the DJI Smart Controller an accessory, so they don't give you a discount. I stole Bill's thunder.
Bill, would you get the head of marketing in on one of your future shows, and you could discuss that with him?
You know, I probably should. I should probably ask. I should probably ask Romeo about that. I wonder if he could help me get somebody on about that, because I think that's a good question.
Okay. Well, hold on. Before we lose that train of thought, so Marcus, what are you into the Spark for?
$330 all total.
$335. So the people that are trying to figure out which is the cheapest, so you could go to Banggood recently and get a Zino for $269. So that sounds like you still can buy a Zino for what, $70 cheaper? Is my math correct?
Batteries last so much longer too, right? So I'm only getting 11 minutes out of the batteries on the Spark.
And the Zino batteries are only what, $35, correct?
Yeah, about 40.
Yeah. So you could get the Zino with 2 or 3 batteries versus the Spark with 2 or 3 batteries, and you would be saving well over $100.
Bingo. And that's the reason why everybody loves to compare the two, is because of the price point, right? And everybody's looking to buy something under $400, right? Mm-hmm. And price point is the deal here that makes that comparison, right? Even though they're totally different birds, as Marcus was saying, but we're talking $400 and below. So. And
I would say with the recent camera update that arrived for the Zino, is it 3.6 now? Is that the correct number for the camera update? 3.5 or 3.6. The video I took Saturday was the best video I've ever captured with the Zino. I mean, they keep making great improvements with the camera. If they could ever get the flying as good as the camera updates, I mean, they would really have a winner. I mean, I can't be more happy with the camera updates.
Hey, Ron, I wanted to give a quick shout out. Thomas O'Sullivan is
thank
here.
you.
He Thomas is over in the UK, and I posted it out on Build a Drone Reviewer, and he saw it out there, so that's why he joined tonight.
Thank you for being with us, Thomas. I'm glad to see you in here, all the way from the UK and up late at night. I mean, I should get a free T-shirt or something if we had any. Someday we'll be a big channel and making the millions, and we'll toss some T-shirts out.
And the camera upgrade firmware was 3.5.
Thank you, Al. What did you think of the upgrade of the camera, the most recent one?
I love all the upgrades that they've been doing, but these last ones are really dialing it in so we can get that, really nice video. Hey, nice little spinner there.
That was. Well, Al, guess what video I have coming up? When I had the Zino on Saturday, I took the Mavic Pro Classic out and I did a camera test. I flew the same routes for both drones. So I'm still editing, but I will be releasing a Zino versus its the drone is always compared to the Mavic Pro Classic. Well, so we're going to have a video shootout to see who takes the nicest video. And I know Brian from True Drone Reviews is in the chat room. I don't know if he's still there, but Brian brings up a good point. A lot of people, including Brian, they don't want to know how good the video looks after you edit it. They want the video to look good right out of the camera, and they have the Zino tuned that the video is very bright and colorful as soon as you get it out of the camera before you even do any editing on it. So that's kind of a plus for the the Zino. So what do you guys think of that?
So it is really a bright video, and to your point, I actually did that with the Mavic 2 Zoom. I did that comparison. I flew out over the Snake River Canyon, and then I numbered the videos 1 and 2 and had people guess. And the people that own one or the other could tell. But I was amazed at how many people guessed wrong. It was pretty obvious to most people, but the fact that you could even compare them says a lot for this little guy.
And that was a couple of camera updates ago, right? Already?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it would be closer now.
Yeah.
And one of the things on the settings that you got to take a note of is this, that if you put it in the normal mode instead of the bright mode, you will not get that color saturation that we're normally seeing. So it will look more like the DJI video. But a lot of folks I noticed that are just running it straight in that color bright instead of normal. So that's the other trick.
Got a question for you guys about all these software updates, whether it's in either to the controller or to the Zino itself. When you buy one, do you have to do all of them in sequential order, or how does that work, guys?
You do. Now, there's some controversy about that, but here's what I can tell you is I do them in the order that Hubsan says to do them. And the way they say, you start with the FC, you go to the gimbal, and then you do the FPV in that order. And they say, if you upgrade one, upgrade them all. I always do it that way, and it works. Now, there's people that'll tell you, no, you don't have to do that. But then they have a problem with disconnections and other things. I can say that with the FC, or excuse me, yeah, if you install the new FC firmware, it's going to look for that FPV firmware that you install with a micro SD card. So what happens is you're flying the drone and it starts polling the SD card looking for those files, and that causes dropouts or disconnections that a lot of people complain about. So and it's controversial. Some people say no, but my experience is that works. So
it's always better to do that. Yeah, that's good. That's good to know, Marcus, because I'm on the edge. As long as I just need a little financial gain here to do that. So
hey, Bill. So let me add the updates on the Zino. They're a pain in the rear end. They really are. They're just not what we're used to with DJI. They really, it is kind of ridiculous. But there again, I go back to the fact that you can buy it for $269.
It's a hobbyist. It's an update for the hobbyist. Al, how do you do your firmware updates for the Zino?
Yeah, and I do it by the book too. I mean, just do the flight controller and then move on to the FPV and gimbal, and then last thing I do is the controller itself if it needs it. But I've recently had a lot of problems upgrading my Mavic 2 Pro, and I actually had to do it with my USB cable. It just would not do it over my Wi-Fi or broadband connection.
You did it off your computer?
Yeah, I had to do it. I had to use Support Assist. So you load Support Assist on your system, and then you can then yank the upgrade through that through the web, through the support into the drone. But as we grew up with DJI stuff, man, the headaches we had to go through with them, they were horrible, right? People don't remember how bad DJI stuff was. It was really bad. And, like the spark batteries were falling out of the sparks and you're losing your spark. It almost happened to me. I was flying from my boat and the battery fell out while I was hovering right above my boat, and the thing just came falling down in the boat, and I was so lucky. Otherwise, it would have been in the lake. But I ended up losing that poor guy in the river anyway. So,
Al, I know the Billy Kyle, friend of the channel. He recommends using the that DJI. What did you call it? Where you do it hooked up to your computer?
The Support Assist, yeah.
Yeah, Billy Kyle recommends that over doing it through the phone and the app.
I would echo that too, Ron. And what's real interesting, there's a support assistant for each different drone. There's one for the Mavic Air. There's one for the Mavic Pro. One for the Mavic 2 series. There's one for the Phantom series. And the one I have for the Phantom series, it has evidently it's embedded with some type of I don't know what it is. I have to run it as an administrator on my Windows PC. Otherwise, I can't run it. It's just way different. That's the only way I can run it. I have to sign on as an admin to do that.
Well, that must be a Windows thing, because I've run it on iOS and Apple, and it was no problem.
Yeah, I looked it up, and I think it's just one of those things. I'm going to call it quits for tonight, guys. I want to wish you all the best, and I would definitely like to have this is an open invitation to Ron and to Marcus to be on Tuesday night Rotor Talk Live. You tell me when you guys want on, you're on, and we'll have the best Zino talk in the world next year's show.
Oh, thanks for that invitation, Bill. Well, Marcus and I definitely take advantage of that, and I thank you so much for being the special guest on our very first show, Bill. It was nice of you to kind of help us get introduced to the YouTube community here, and and you've helped. You were on my IT support today. So he's the official IT person of ZinoNation. When we get big someday, his stock will make him rich, and So again,
I can treat everybody to Chick-fil-A then.
Yeah. When I'm at your payment, when I be in Florida, I'll get you. What was that drink you like at Chick-fil-A?
Yes.
Free coupon right here. Free sandwich.
There you go, Bill.
Al and Dennis, it was nice meeting you guys. Dennis, I'll look forward to seeing you Wednesday night.
Likewise, Bill.
Good, Bill. Thanks.
Take care, guys.
Good night.
I'm gonna do the same thing. I just wanted to also say, Ron, do me a favor, check in the Hangouts chat, and when you get a chance, I would love to have posted some links, but you only gave the one gentleman the wrench, so we can't post the links. So go back and check out the channel. He's posted 2 or 3 links trying to give some explanations about what y'all are talking about. Maybe you can put them in show discussions afterwards or something.
Okay.
So,
thank you so much, Bill. This show could have been possible without Bill Thomas. He encouraged me to do it. He's helped me every step of the way. Just special thanks. As one of the great people in the drone community.
I want to say one more thing. Ron's going to be, hopefully he'll be available to make a surprise visit Wednesday night, but he might be in the air at that point in time. But I want y'all to do one thing before I take off, since you're starting ZinoNation. I want y'all to tell everybody tonight and make it clear that, yes, it's going to be mainly Hubsan Zino stuff, but from time to time, you all might talk about something else, so y'all don't get pigeonholed and just talk about Hubsan Zino for the next 15 years.
See, more good advice from the pro. Thank you, Bill.
All right, good night, guys. Have a good
night, Bill.
Thank you, Bill Thomas.
All right. Anybody else want to bring anything else up about the Zino before we? I guess we'll wrap this up at 10. That'll be an hour-long show before we put them all in the chat to sleep. Any closing thoughts from either Al or Marcus here?
Go UVA.
Oh yeah. We right. The game's probably already started. Any other big college basketball fans here?
Yep.
Marcus?
Nah.
Dennis?
No, sorry.
Okay, just Al and I. And Al, I know Virginia's never won a national title. Is that correct in basketball?
Yeah, that is so true. Yeah.
But I remember in the 80s when they had Ralph Sampson, and they thought they were going to win one.
Elijah one stole it. Remember?
Yeah, I do.
There was that one shot that got missed, and he picked it up and dunked it. That was the end of that.
Right. Well,
pleasure to meet you. Thank you, Ron, for inviting me.
No, we'll be glad to have you back some other time. I mean, it was great having the show. If you're interested, if you enjoyed being on the show, consider coming back with us again.
Thank you so much.
Al,
good night, Al.
Nice to meet you guys as well.
Double thumbs up for you guys, man. Keep on rocking, okay?
Looking forward to seeing that in the latest video, Al. Please said before you go, I don't know if you could. They say you can't post links in there, but tell them where to go look for it. Before you leave, tell them where to go look for your channel again and where to look for your videos. If you're on Facebook or anything, give them that too.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook and it's Duranify, DURANAFY, and you could also just look me up as Alfredo Duran. Thank you.
And I'll join the Facebook group ZinoNation, which I just formed the other day, and I'll make you an administrator, since I consider you one of the early. I mean, it's about maybe 10 or 12 of us that had the Zino, like right at the beginning of December, and I'd kind of like for all of us to be part of this community and be on the show regularly, and we're still out there testing it, and I just appreciate all you guys.
Likewise. Thank you.
Marcus, any closing thoughts?
Well, just the same thing that you kind of echoed there. I appreciate the people that came on the show tonight. Thank you very much, and for everything that you've added. And man, thank you, Ron, for getting everything put together. And I look forward to doing this show every week, and we can get into questions and so forth. We'll get better at it, I hope. but it was fun. Thank you, everybody.
Now I'm going to be in Florida, as I kind of hinted back and forth. I'm leaving for Florida on Wednesday, and we'll be there about like maybe 8 or 9 days. So I'm going to take my webcam with me hopefully to do the Bucket List Boys next week. I can't do it Wednesday because I'll be in a plane. But we'll talk about whether we're going to do a ZinoNation next Monday or not. But if we don't, it'll be the following Monday. We may take a week break, but we'll keep everybody updated on the Facebook group. And if we decide to do one, we'll even do a little promo video for YouTube. Dennis, any closing thoughts from you tonight?
I've been admiring that box collection that's behind Marcus there. So Marcus, one of these days you needed to do a 3-hour show where you talk about all those things.
It's nothing but fun, Dennis.
And Dennis, if you ever get up to New Jersey, I don't actually. I have a house in Jersey Shore, and I'm going to be moving there permanently very soon. So come down to the. I'm on the island where Atlantic City is. I'm in a little town called Margate. Come down, we could do a sun chasers right on the beach at the Margate fishing pier.
Sounds good. I was up in Long Island November.
I saw.
Okay.
I saw you guys on the beach. You made a surprise appearance in Drone Bum's video. Well, Philly Drone, he's only lives about an hour away from my beach house or whatever. So you guys can come right down there and
right. Well,
meet up right on the beach.
Sorry, but yeah, my reason for being up there is that my employer is actually housed. That's their home office is in Jersey City, New Jersey.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And so on occasion, I coerce them into inviting me up.
That was a great video when you guys walked up on the beach when Paul was flying.
That was so much fun. That was so much fun. I really enjoyed that. So.
Make sure, I don't know if you can link here because they say I didn't do the links right. Make sure you link that video in the chat on Wednesday night when you're on the bucket list, boys.
Okay, I can do that.
So, and now one thing before we go, and I bore the Zino people here, but I don't understand what's going on with the, I'll say the Sun Chasers. You guys got to get a t-shirt and an official name. But why were you using DU Recorder this weekend?
Because YouTube recently, I don't recall, I guess it was Saturday. It was very recently. They suddenly made a change that you cannot go live using a mobile phone if you have less than 1,000 subscribers.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And DU Recorder and Streamlabs, and there may be others that are somehow able to, they're not detected as mobile broadcasts by YouTube, so they get through. And a funny story, I was actually on a live show. We had just discovered this on Saturday, I'm sure it was. And I was on a live show talking about why DU Recorder wouldn't work, while Drone Bum was out there proving that it would. Yeah, so Drone Bum gets the credit for that one as well. But
wow, that's great. You guys innovated and still found a way to do it. I have DU Recorder, and I gotta admit, maybe I've only played with it one time, so I knew what it was, but I didn't understand what was going on. So, well, all you guys have got to be getting close to 1,000 subs. So anybody in the chat room, if you don't already have Dennis sub him up so he gets his 1,000, so he can go live from YouTube.
Thanks for that. But yeah, so what we do is DU Recorder. For those who don't know, it's ultimately it's a screen recorder, but it also has the capability of broadcasting what it records, and you can go live to YouTube. It can go live to Facebook. I don't remember. There are others, but and you can also do RTMP, which is your own. It fits pretty much any protocol or any of the live stream protocols. So anyway, so what we do is go live using DU Recorder or using Streamlabs, and then share our screen, which DU Recorder does automatically. With Streamlabs, you have to share your screen, and then whatever you do is broadcast. So that's it. But yeah, that was a real damper. And Facebook did the same thing, by the way.
Oh, really?
It's not 1,000 subscribers because it doesn't work the same way as YouTube, right? But if
I don't have 1,000 on Facebook.
Live on Facebook, it doesn't work, and it used to.
Facebook did that because of that situation that sadly that happened in New Zealand.
Oh, right.
You can only speculate, and that is so American. I mean,
right.
Like just okay, no box cutters, right? We got to inspect all the shoes. All these things, the knee-jerk reactions. And I'm not saying we don't need protection, we do, but it's a very American thing to do. Okay, so this one guy did this, we're gonna shut everybody down.
Right. Well, thanks for telling us that story. I did understand, why you were doing it, but now that makes it perfectly clear. Okay, I'm going to shout out some people in the chat room before we leave here. I see Birdman 316 RC still out there. Thanks for joining us. RD Drone Reviews. That's Ryan. He's in here now. Thanks for joining us, Ryan. John Cuppy's in here. John, thanks for joining us. John and Ryan have both been guests on the Bucket List Boys before. Brian from True Drone Reviews is still in here. Thanks for joining us, Brian. You have to be on a future show since you're a big-time Zino owner, too, and have done some terrific reviews and a big supporter. Better with the Drone, you need to come on the show sometime, too. Better with the Drones was one of the early, people with the Zino making the videos. Floyd Motes was in here with us all night tonight. Thanks for being with us, Floyd. Ray Millwood's been here most of the night. Thanks for joining us, Ray. N6SIX, who did you say that was, Marcus?
That's Joe Azevedo.
Joe, thanks for being in here all night. Joe's, I think, the first person in here. So Chris Hope, thanks for joining us. Perth West RC was in here. Thanks for joining us, Dave. I think I've hit everybody. Thomas O'Sullivan corrected people that he's from Ireland. Somebody said he was from someplace else. He's from Ireland. I guess the O'Sullivan should have gave it away, right? So I think I've hit everybody. Thomas Hart was in here. He was a Zino man too, right, Marcus?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. He's got a Zino, and he's been putting up some pretty darn good videos.
So thank you. So I think I've hit everybody that was in here tonight. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining his first show. I think it was a big success. I want to thank all our in-studio guests here, even non-Zino. Or Dennis, you thinking about getting a Zino someday?
It's a possibility,
Possibility. And get out. Go ahead, Dennis. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No.
Go right ahead, Dennis. Finish your thought.
Okay. I used to have an H501S, and I really, really like that. That's what I got when I had my Mavic Pro on order, the original Mavic Pro. And so that's pretty much how I learned to fly GPS drones was Hubsan, and I thought that they were pretty good. So Zino is absolutely not out of the picture.
Well, the Zino's a 501 with like a 200 times better camera.
That's just about right. That's a pretty good description.
Yeah.
And Al, I thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope you come back for the next show or every show we do if you'd like to. You're welcome back anytime. You made a great contribution to the show tonight. I always enjoy watching videos. And you and Marcus, I subscribe to you on YouTube. I hit the bell, and I never get your videos. And so I've like gone to unsubscribe, to resubscribe, and I have to just find your videos. They will not come up in my feed no matter what I do unless I go looking for them.
Ron, you have to dig for treasure, my friend.
I thought you guys maybe had paid content or something like that. Dennis, all Dennis's videos pop up. I don't have to hunt for Dennis's videos.
Well, yeah, I pay extra.
Hey, Dennis, I had a question for you.
Yes, sir.
DU recorder, do you have the paid version, or do you have just the free version? It's got the ads on it.
No, I use the free version.
Gotcha.
And on Android, I don't even know if there is a paid version. There may be, but anyway, on Android and on Apple, I use the free version of the recorder. And I'll tell you, since we're talking about it a little bit, on Android, I have the problem that once I have gone live with my channel, which is Dennis Lovelady, I can't seem to set it up to go live on an alternate channel. I have a couple of alternate channels I do other stuff with, and I can't seem to I can only go live using DU Recorder with the Dennis Lovelady channel because I did that originally. On Apple, I don't have that problem. So I don't know if you have Apple or Android, but
what do you use? What do you use, Al? Are you Apple or Android?
I'm an Android guy. I got a very old phone. I have a Samsung S7, and it really has a lot of problems with the DJI 4 app, like the Go 4 app. I like the recorder a lot. I was just wondering if you had a paid version or not, because I'm getting really tired of all the nagware that I get from, you know how you get all the pop-up stuff all the time.
Yeah, but I've never seen anything pop up from DU Recorder, even though I've never paid them a penny.
Huh. I get it. As soon as I turn off the DU Recorder, I'll get like, some nagging advertisement.
Dennis, are you using it on Apple or iOS or Android?
Both.
Both. And Marcus, you're on iOS for your flying, right? For Zino and
yeah. So I have a 10S, and then I also have a Mini 4, and I use either or. There are people that say you cannot use iPad with the Zino. I did a video where I hooked the Mini 4 up to it, and it flew just fine.
I've never got the Mini 4 working with the Zino, but I haven't tried in, I don't know, 45 days. Last time I tried it, I still couldn't get it to work. But that was many updates ago.
That's in ZinoNation. That's words that we live by. Many updates ago.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna call it a night. We went 10:02, so we did pretty good right in that hour mark. So again, thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks for everybody in the chat for joining us, and we'll see you maybe in a week, if not 2 weeks. But we'll update what's going to happen next Monday. So I'm gonna sign off. So good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Go Virginia.
There you go.